What is up, guys? Rick Cactus here, and today, Bungie's out here releasing trailers when your boy is trying to sleep in. Come on, Bungie, I need my 8 hours. But that aside, we are going to be going over this brand new trailer because it's really interesting. It's showcasing the game mode Gambit Prime, coming very soon, in fact tomorrow, with the launch of the season of the Drifter. Gambit Prime is essentially a quicker paced, more hardcore version of Gambit. It's only one round, and you have the use of the Gambit set armors. There's 4 distinct roles that we knew about, but today, in this trailer, Bungie actually outlined the perks of these 4 different set armors. So we know exactly what you're going to get if you equip, a full Reaper set, for example. And that's extremely helpful for letting you guys know which ones you want to specialize in, which ones you want to go after, which ones you want to try to earn first to really find your favorite role and start slaying out in Gambit Prime. And so, let's go over them. First off, we have the Reaper set, with the description being clear waves and slay larger enemies. The 4 perks associated with this armor set are, number 1, weaken high value targets, so those yellow bar enemies are going to be easier for you to kill. Next up, multi-kills generate special ammo. Very, very good. Then we've got gain increased moat lifetime, and lastly, powerful enemy kills increase grenade recharge. So let's examine this set. Again, its purpose is to be the guy going out, slaying on a group of ads, and not necessarily collecting the moats. We actually have a totally different set meant for doing that, but just slaying. Oh, there's enemies spawning somewhere else. Go there and slay while your collector, picks it up. You're not necessarily going out and invading. You're not even stuffing invaders. You're just killing as many ads as quickly as possible. And the perk that really stands out to me as being, frankly, the most powerful here is multi-kills generate special ammo. It's very, very easy to get a multi-kill in this game. 1 grenade can do it. If you're using something like a fusion rifle, that can do it. A shotgun can get just multi-kills so easily, and being able to generate special ammo just from doing that. Now, how much? Do you get 1 round? Do you get a brick's worth? If you get a brick's worth, this could be one of the most useful perks to have when you're doing Gambit Prime, because just constantly having shotgun or fusion rifle or even sniper ammo is going to let you not only slay out on ads and fulfill the purpose of this set, but it's going to let you do other things. If you have a wealth of special ammo, you can melt a primeval a lot easier. You can stuff an invasion a lot easier. You can invade yourself if you need to. Special ammo is super, super important to have, and you really notice when you're out of it. The fact that this gets it for multi-kills is incredibly powerful. But aside from that perk, the other perks seem pretty decent. Weakening high-value targets is going to let you clear blockers and maybe even kill your primeval faster. Powerful enemy kills increase grenade recharge, while a powerful enemy is just a yellow bar. And there's actually quite a lot of those floating around. There's yellow bar, thralls even when you play Gambit right now. So being able to, if that significantly increases your grenade recharge, maybe running double grenades especially could let you use a lot more than normal. Alright, next up we have the Sentry set, counter invasion and bank protection. The 4 perks here are, number 1, multi-kills grants a damage buff against Taken. Interesting. Bank gives health regeneration. Mark invaders for teammates and buff allies in the Well of Light. So, pretty darn interesting there. This guy's purpose is something that, when you're playing Gambit right now, someone isn't necessarily doing. There isn't necessarily a invasion stuffer. There isn't necessarily someone whose job is to protect the bank, to clear out the blockers as quickly as possible. So this is a pretty interesting role. Now, the first perk grants a damage buff against Taken. Well, the reason it says specifically Taken is because the blockers are always going to be taken no matter what, even though the enemies out there in the wild may be different. So if this perk does provide a significant damage bonus, it could actually be super useful to just have a sentry sitting there at the bank, and anytime the enemy team summons a blocker, just murk it as quickly as possible. Just keep the flow of motes on your team going and going and going. The bank gives health regeneration. That seems really, really interesting. I assume it's just for this guy, not health regeneration to your entire team, unfortunately. But you do have buff allies in the Well of Light. So perhaps you can create a Well of Light, and that's going to help you melt a Primeval very quickly, or clear out blockers very quickly. But the perk that really stands out to me is Mark Invaders for teammates. It is going to be so important to stuff invasions in Gambit Prime because you only have one round. A good invasion can win the game, essentially. And if you invade and kill a bunch of people, they lose a bunch of motes, they invade and you kill the invader immediately, well, your chances to win that game went up astronomically. But how is this going to work? You know, we don't have an Apex Legends ping system in Destiny. So, you know, if the Sentry shoots at an invader and gets 1 damage on them, is it going to ping them? Is it going to ping them automatically as long as there's a sentry set around? Is it a proximity thing? It's really important for how this works, but if it works in any sort of easy way, the fact that you can just be like, oh, invader right here, and your whole team knows exactly where the invader is, whew, that's important. In any event, moving on from there, we have the Collector set. Collect motes and send blockers. This is pretty interesting because it wasn't super well defined in current Gambit. Like, you don't really have one person doing all the collecting. The majority of your teammates are all trying to collect motes. Maybe you have 1 or 2 guys go to the next zone, whereas 3 or 2 just stay back and collect motes, but you don't have like one person as a designated collector. Could that change with this set? Well, the perks are, number 1, drop motes on death. That is a big one. Number 2, motes grant an overshield. Number 3, gain ammo on mote deposit. And number 4, send a giant 20 mote blocker. So, a lot of interesting stuff going on here. And honestly, all 4 of these seem quite powerful. But number 1, the thing that stands out to me is drop motes on death. Oh my goodness. So, an invasion comes over, kills you, you've got 20 motes. Normally this would be devastating. Like, it turns the tides completely if you kill your blueberry that's trying to get to 15 motes, right? It just completely screws over your team a lot of the time. But with this guy, you just drop all 20 motes on the ground. Now maybe the invader could go there and like pick them up to deny, but still there's a lot of sniping, there's a lot of linear fusion rifles, there's a lot of rocket launchers with tracking. Often, you know, the invader is not going to kill the collector and be right beside him in order to do that. So you could potentially have those 20 motes stay there, the invader gets killed, whatever, you go back, collect all 20 again, you've lost basically no progress. That is a huge, huge benefit. But as we've said, the other perks are quite useful as well. Gaining an overshield for collecting motes. You're often trying to push forward while being shot at by enemies to collect maybe the last few motes to get an invasion or to get to that next big value, getting 5 or 10 or 15 or in this case 20. And being able to get an overshield when you do that, it really helps those few scenarios where you just take a little bit too much damage. You know, maybe you were surprised by how much a taken wizard did to you, whatever, and you would just die and screw everything over. That's really going to help. And gain ammo on mote deposit, well, if this includes special and potentially heavy, whoo! Whoa, that's a powerful perk. Like, could you imagine gaining 1 rocket launcher shot every time you make a deposit of 10 or more motes? Like, that is huge. So we're really gonna have to see how that pans out. And the 20 mote blocker, you know, how much more powerful is this than the 15 blocker? That's really gonna determine how good that perk is. But moving on from there, we have one final set to go over, and it's the Invader set. Hunt players and steal motes. Now the steal motes part is a really interesting twist on this set because we actually did have a designated invader, not set per se, but in the meta of current Gambit. You did often have one person, the guy running the Crooked Fang or whatever, that would be like, I'm gonna invade almost every time as long as I have heavy, and would often do it and would often slay out. This is really designating that role even further. So the perks here we have gain ammo while invading, improved invasion overshield, damage bonus on guardian kills, and lock and drain motes from enemy bank. Okay, we're gonna get to all of them, but that last one, lock and drain motes from enemy bank. Wow. So this is such an important perk, because it punishes how so many teams play in Gambit right now. Often, if you have a good invader and you go over, enemies just hide. They cower in the back of the map, and sometimes that is the right play, to wait out an invader. But this means that you cannot do that. If the invader comes over and everyone is hiding in spawn, you can just go straight to the bank and start stealing their motes, which is absolutely devastating. So it means that you have to come out and push and kill that enemy invader, or else you're just going to be completely drained of all your motes. And that is a super interesting mechanic. It makes invasions a lot more powerful, because it's your damned if you do, damned if you don't. You have to come out and fight the invader, and they're going to have more ammo, an improved overshield, and bonus damage, so they're even more powerful than ever. Or you avoid them, and then they steal your motes. So you have to have, sentries and stuff like that, really pinging those guys, pinging those invaders, and taking them out as quickly as possible. Now, the thing that stands out to me, just like the last set, I want to mention again, gain ammo while invading. Does that include special and heavy? If it does, holy crap, that's insane. Like, that's incredibly powerful. Could you imagine having no heavy? If you have this set on, you run in there, and now you've got a rocket launcher shot, or now you've got Queensbreaker shots. That is just like disgustingly good. And so guys, that is an overview of all 4 of the different Gambit Prime sets coming with Season of the Drifter. In total, these look pretty interesting. I think that there are going to be much more clearly defined roles when you play Gambit Prime now. The ones that really stand out to me are the Reaper gaining special ammo off of multi-kills and stuff like that. Wow, that seems incredibly useful, and getting faster grenade recharge and weakening powerful enemies. That guy really does seem meant for clearing out waves of ads. The Invader as well really stands out to me as just, people who already like to invade, they are now going to get so much more powerful for doing so. Like, those perks that are present on the Invader set seem absurdly good in the hands of a skilled player going over to slay. Now, the Sentry and the Collector, definitely the Collector has some very powerful perks as well. I think that we will start to see more designated Collectors. The Sentry, however, seems to be having a little bit of an identity crisis. It's got perks that make it good against slaying out on ads, but especially blockers, increased damage against taken, while the blockers are always taken, so that helps there. It has increased survivability when standing around the bank with the health regeneration. And it has one perk to help against invaders, the marking invaders, but then it has a team support perk. It kind of seems to be a little bit all over the place. Now, with that being said, it's not saying these perks aren't powerful. They do seem quite good, but I feel like the other roles, the other sets are so much better defined, and the things that people are kind of already doing in Gambit. The Reaper seems already pretty decent at taking out blockers. It's going to be coming at them with likely a wealth of special ammo and dealing, more damage than usual against powerful enemies. Like, why do you need a Sentry as well when you have a Reaper, right? So we're going to have to see how these play out. They seem really interesting nonetheless, and it's really cool that Bungie is experimenting with sets. Like, this is something that players have wanted for more aspects of the game, and we'll see how these pan out. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the video, found it informative, and if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. And if you guys want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickKakis. That's linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.